Just need to make room here. Am I muted for now?
I'm very excited to have people join us today. It is going to be a really wonderful day, and I really appreciate everyone joining with us. Yewan hat den Squalowin Titsits, Nathan Cheximiya Allison Burns Tinachin Cla Chamulchison o Chameo, Skwxwu7mesh on Bannock Squalowin, Eotin Kwitelut. So what I just said is that my ancestral name is Cheximiya, my given name is Allison. I come from the village at Kwelaw'ikw from the Squamish Nation. Feels really good in my heart to be here and all my relations. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us live. Myself and my guest, Kwelaw'ikw, also known as Carla, is here on Kwelaw'ikw Reserve, and we're coming to you from the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Centre page here. So before I get started and before we introduce our guests further, many of you may know that we do have June 21st is National Indigenous Peoples Day, and that is coming up this Sunday, also in line with Father's Day. We have a loaded schedule with many different offerings available to each and every one of you next Sunday. So for those of you who are following us on Facebook, we are going to be doing some live drumming and singing in our home communities, both here in North Vancouver and in Lil'wat territory, where we are going to be doing traditional songs from our nations. And so we'll be sharing that live through Facebook at 11. We also are very excited to be working with Corey Douglas, who will be doing an art and reconciliation workshop at 2 p.m. Registration is required, as we will be having some handouts emailed to each and every one of you to follow along with his workshop. That is about a 1-hour experience starting at 2 p.m. on the 21st. We also have partnered with the Spiritual Warriors, and they will be doing live performances for their band at the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Centre at 4 p.m. So it's a jam-packed, loaded day. And for those of you who don't want to cook for your fathers on Father's Day, we're doing a special Bring It Home the Bannock, where you can do your online orders through the website, and you can get a great meal prepared by our chefs, and you can either have it picked up or delivered in the Whistler area. So we have a lot of really cool things that are happening over the next little while, and including that is our opening. We are so excited to be opening our doors once again. And we will be having a Nations Day for Squamish and Lil'wat community members. And sorry, I'm just getting so excited. That's going to be happening on the 25th. So if you are watching and you are an active member within our communities, please come in and join us throughout the day. I'm very excited that we'll be having our Indigenous Youth Ambassador training program, the ones who were with us pre-COVID, to come back and share a meal. And so I'm very excited that the day following, on the 26th, we are actually going to be opening the doors to the world. So each and every one of you, I hope that you have the opportunity to come and join us starting next week. So wow. I know that was a lot of information. So if you missed any of that, this video will be saved and it'll be able to review following. Or you can just go check out our website, www.slcc.ca, and have a look at all the cool things that you can be involved in. So thank you so much. So thank you for sitting through that, Carla. I know we have lots of going on, but I'm also very excited to be speaking with you today. Would you like to take some time and introduce yourself?
Cheximiya. Cheximiya? Is that correct? Yes, thank you. You're a natural. You're a broadcaster. I was like, wow, I'm very impressed with you. Thank you for the introduction and having the opportunity to share some words today. Kwelaw'ikw Carla George is my given name, and I come from the village of Chumulchiston, and that's where I'm sitting out back so that you could hear my dog. She hears the voices and is trying to protect her territory. But I'm just really, really honored to be a part of the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Centre. And I think of my late auntie, Swithtraliat, Julie Baker, who this was her heart and soul, and she loved this building, and she loved everything that it stood for and meant to her, along with Kalkaltinsia, my Uncle Gibby, and there were many, many others who worked on this amazing building. And so I'm glad that I could be a part of the board and to participate as a Squamish council member on this board, and so really grateful for having a little bit of time to share with you and Facebook world who we are and what we're doing, and just really saying a special prayer for all of those that we're all being affected in this world by this pandemic, this world pandemic, and it's been really scary. You know, COVID-19 is the new reality for all of us, where we've had to pivot and try to find what is it that we're going to do. And so I really want to applaud and hold my hands up to Heather, who is the new executive director, Heather Paul. She stepped in, I think, within 6 days, having to do a lot of changes, including shutting the building down and having to let go some staff, which was probably one of the most difficult things that any of us have had to do. And so I just really, you know, think of all of those that are affected in all of our communities and throughout this world that are affected by this pandemic, and how we're trying to make do with what we're doing. And one of the things that you had asked me about was, you know, I help in the community with the deliveries, and it's the little things that I can do to help out. And so, you know, getting a mask and putting on hand sanitizer, those are little things that I can do. But on top of that, you see the shirt that I'm wearing, I did a fundraiser for my mom, who is in a care home, a long-term care facility. And so I went and did a walk the other weekend and raised over $2,100 for Alzheimer's Society of BC. And so those are the little things that I know that I can do and help out. So with that, I wanted to start off with the song and say a special prayer for all of our loved ones that are shut in, that are stuck at home, that may be in the hospital, that are suffering from whatever illnesses that they may be affected from. I was singing with my mom, for my mom over at the home. We sing outside, and so my voice might be a little bit scratchy. I just did that the last couple of hours, so I am going to stand and hopefully can adjust this so you can see. And I thought a greeting of the day would be appropriate just for each and every one of you. I send special prayers for all of those that are struggling with addiction, for those that walk on the Black Road, for those that feel like they're alone and need some supports, and that they find the supports that they need. So I say this with much love and respect to each and every one of you.
Well, yeah. Beautiful. One of my favorite songs. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the Solemn with us. That's just wonderful.
Acknowledge the Kwelaw'ikw. That song came from her family, from her, that's what she descends from. And I learned that song when I was, I bet, probably 5, 6 years old. I was fortunate to learn from some of the old timers that are very, our ancestors, Uncle Bill Baker, Sadie Baker, Sam Baker, and then we had Gwen Harry, who used to gather us as young people, and so really grateful for that opportunity to learn from some of our Squamish now, and just acknowledge the song and the family that the song comes from. And it's one of those songs that just really touches my heart as well. Thought we'd start off in a good way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And that is so amazing. And you sound beautiful. I couldn't tell you were singing all morning long. So in your opening, you did touch on quite a lot of the stuff that you've been involved in. But since you were at the location earlier doing some drumming and singing for your family, did you want to share a little bit about that with us?
Sure. So it must have been end of January, we moved my mom into a long-term care facility, and which is a really hard decision. But my dad was a primary caregiver, and 24 hours, and it's a big job, and we were worried, just wanting to keep my mom safe. And so it was a tough decision, because we were waiting for the North Shore, and we'd been waiting for probably a few months for a home on the North Shore. One of the homes that we went to look at, my dad and I went to look at, was a Lynn Valley Care Center. And as you may remember, that was the epicenter of COVID-19. And so, and then what I understood is that it could be up to a year that we waited before a home opened up on the North Shore. And so we decided as a family that we would look at Vancouver. And so my mom is at St. Jude's Anglican Home, and it's a part of Vancouver Coastal Health, one of the Vancouver Coastal Health homes. And it's a smaller facility. I think there's 2 floors, and I think there's probably about 25 to 30 residents on each floor. And so my mom was just, I think starting to feel a bit more comfortable. And then all of a sudden the world shut down. And I was there that Tuesday with my dad, and the executive director, she came to my dad and I and sat with us and just said, we're not going to be able to allow visitors to come back in anymore. And I had to hold myself together and try and maintain my composure for my mother. And so I had my drum that day as well, and we sang some songs. And my mom she loves it. It calms her. She'll dance, she'll sing, she'll clap her hands and participate with us, and those are the things that she remembers. And so we had that really nice connection that day, and then got that news. And so I quickly tried to call all of my family to have that last, connection. I wanted to FaceTime or just, and so I got a hold of a couple of family members to be able to talk to her. And we just didn't know what was going to happen. Like nobody knew what was happening in the world, and it was changing. I can't remember. It was like March 12th, and it just, the world had shut down. It just all of a sudden just changed, and so, which then we worry, as my mom is a residential school survivor, wanting to ensure that she wasn't thinking that we had forgotten about her, or that I wanted her to know that we wanted to visit. And so that was our way. I asked if we could go and drum and sing, and I thought that might be something that we can do. And the weather started to get a little bit nicer, probably about third week of March, like a week into this. And I think we've been 6 times now. And so there's this really nice enclosure. It's a little balcony patio, and it's a glass enclosure. And so on each panel, there's probably about an inch thick or so we can talk to her through this little panel, and have our little connection with her. So we can talk to her and tell her we love her and how much we miss her. And but that first time, it was really sweet, because she was, she was just feeling the music and was dancing and clapping, and, it made us feel that much better. As hard as it is to not cry and to hold it together, we need to do that for my mom, because we can't go and hug her and comfort her the way that we want to. And so being stuck on the other side of the glass was pretty difficult. So we've had some of our family members and extended family to come out with us as well. But yeah, we've been able to do that several times, and my dad and I have gone out and had little visits. They have so on the bottom floor, they have chairs on either side of this window, and so there's a little opening an inch thick or whatever, so we can talk to her through that. And I was able to call my aunt and uncle. My mom has one brother and sister, Violet and Stevie, and they're in Port Hardy and Fort Rupert. So I call them, and they're able to have a little conversation as well. So we're doing the best that we can in the world that we are all dealing with. And so, when I know some of the family are like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. And I was like, well, we usually, we can do that when we come home. A lot of people have shared with us, like, oh, I really cried when I seen the video, or I shed tears, or, there's water coming in my eyes. And, and it's what we can do to thank the workers, like they're our heroes. I start feeling emotional, but they're taking care of my mom. I have to thank them. My dad wants to do some work. He wants to sempo them, when the world opens up, when the doors open, and, do our work to be able to thank them. And we always acknowledge my mom's new family, the other residents there. And, some of them come out as well to come and sit with her and participate and listen. And, they clap. They're cute. They hold their hands up. They're non-native, and they participate with us as well. And so, it's our little way to give back to our mother who raised us, who was there for us, and taught us instilled all these teachings in us. And so, and trying to connect with my dad, keep him connected with my mom. And they've been married, I think it's 58 years. So,
oh wow,
yeah, for him to be alone, it must be, I can't even imagine, what that feeling's like and what he's going through. My youngest, my husband and I, our daughter, she is graduating this year, and, having to pivot and, go through the virtual grad ceremony, but she decided to move in with my dad to keep him company and to help take care of him as well. And so we're all doing our part, within our extended family to whatever it is that we need to do, and I think that's, we're all just transitioning here. And as it might be, a bit of time before we are more active in the community. Like how can we make the best of it? And so for I had a 50th birthday celebration, self-isolated, but you know, we cooked it, not we, my husband and my son, they cooked a big turkey dinner and they baked cake. And so we ended up having a really nice birthday, but we shared some food with my dad, and my daughter brought it over. And then same with my Auntie Sharon and Uncle Hart. And those are the ways that we can connect, you know. And they had a little parade, you know, vehicles coming by, and I've done that for other people as well, to try and do that and celebrate them and their birthdays or whatever it is that we're, you know, trying to celebrate, so that we're not feeling alone. And I think that's one of the biggest parts, is when we are all stuck indoors, and that loneliness that we feel, whether if we have family around us, but there's still a loneliness that I had gone to Vancouver for a service, and I think it's on Powell Street, that Starbucks drive-through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was open, and I was like, wow, you know, like I kind of felt connected to the world just by, you know, people are, well, I think we're not buying Starbucks because they're contributing to Trump, but anyhow, that's a whole nother thing. But at the time, I was like, wow, I just felt connected to the world. It was a little thing that made me feel a part of the world again, and it's so I know that we're not alone in this. And so if anything, that's what my message is just trying to be there for other people as well. I do have an autoimmune. I do have a worry for my own health. I do have asthma, but I'm doing the best that I can to use a mask, to wash my hands, to use hand sanitizer. You know, I'm fortunate that I've got a stock and supply that I'm able to find and, you know, go and buy. You know, go to Costco and find I lucked out and found the Lysol wipes, you know, like those are so hard to come by.
Oh, yay.
So those are the things that I have been able to do, and just, you know, the story with the connection with my mom and our family, and trying to keep us together through all of this.
It sounds like you've had a very busy COVID period here, with having a birthday, graduations, you know, keeping that connection to the elders, which I'm hoping everybody is doing at this time. I know that I have been checking up on my grandpa a lot more lately during this time than before. So it's really nice that we're able to honor those ones that need a little extra help. And I appreciate you sharing a little bit about your story and your personal connections there. That, you know, my birthday happened during COVID as well, and so did my husband's. And my little cousin was a part of the little one school, and they did the grad with the drive-by. And, you know, I'm really glad to see the community really pulling together at this time and really supporting one another. You know, if somebody needs a roll of toilet paper when it was crazy, no toilet paper anywhere, then we were able to call upon family members and ask for that support. You know, with the nation giving different packages of sanitary materials and food, was just so heartwarming to be able to receive. And I was so excited. Actually, just before this, I seen we're getting another delivery. So can't wait to see what my husband makes. He's the chef in the house, and it's been an amazing time. And you spoke to Lysol wipes, and just a tidbit about myself. I'm crazy over Lysol wipes even before the pandemic. So I had a whole bunch of them. And so when people started ninjaing each other all around the reserve and North Vancouver and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, that's perfect to put in there and share the wealth and to share the love. And it's just an amazing time. Oh, man.
It is. I mean, we are all just pivoting and doing what we can to make the best of it and lift people up, as you said. And I did witness out my window, I seen all the vehicles pull up, and they had all the kids' names on the bus for the grade 2 grads. And,
Yeah.
you know, it was a really neat way to honor and acknowledge our Manman that are moving from the little one school. And I know that they were giving I don't know if they brought food or they were giving a gift certificate or something for food.
They brought food, yeah.
They brought food. So to be able to share a meal and celebrate together like we normally would in the community and have, you know, a big celebration at Chief Joe Matthias Center and to honor and acknowledge that transition that they're going into. And, you know, there's, you know, the grade 7 grads and there's the, I know that North Vancouver School District did a drive-by as well to, there was a couple of, Westview, Steph Mackey and I forget, oh, Norgate was the other one. They wanted to drive by, you know, come through the community and honk the horns and wave at the kids. And, you know, like it was pretty scary. You know, I think we've all had those moments where, you know, we have that angst and we're, you know, we're going to have a cry and, you know, when it's just fear of the unknown. And, but I think that, you know, the community has definitely come together the best we can when, you know, when we've lost loved ones. That's probably one of the hardest things in the community when we're used to getting together and going to be with the family and supporting them and, you know, not being able to do that. But we know when the pandemic slows down and we're able to open up a bit more, that there'll be a celebration of life to honor those in this time frame that we've lost. And so, but to what you were talking about, to the deliveries, and I know I've had a few people that were worried about me because they know of my health issues. I'm pretty fortunate, like mine isn't that bad. It's Sjogren's syndrome. I think there's 80 autoimmunes, arthritis, diabetes. They're also part of the autoimmune family. And so yeah, there's 80 of them. And so the one that I have, I've been pretty fortunate that I can still play soccer. I know other people that are debilitated and really get affected, their joints and muscles and in innards. And so anyhow, I've you know, kept myself healthy and safe. And you know, for the most part, we're knocking on doors or ringing doorbells. And I know some people wanted to come and hug us, or we want to come and talk. And but we're trying to keep going because I think there's 700 households throughout our communities, and to do that kind of delivery when we're going house to house, we've done the fish deliveries, and then we initially had ordered. I know Kristen worked on Rivers had ordered a lot of the cleaning, like bleach and spray bottles and all of that, but it came in piecemeal. So I know initially we got just little components of, I think we got a hand soap and maybe a cloth or something. There was a few items in the bag, but the bleach didn't come for about a month, or if, you know, it might have been longer. And so, you know, same with the toilet paper. So it was just like, because the world is in a crisis, we're all feeling this. And so, you know, with the canned fish and the frozen fish, you know, being able to do those things. The Black family that went out and went shrimping, prawns or shrimp? Mine's still frozen. I can't remember.
I don't need
The frozen, yeah. So the frozen prawns. Anyways, they did all of that for the nation. And so, you know, those types of things are pretty amazing when we can, like, it may seem like a little, but there's 4,000 members that we're certainly, you know, looking at providing to and doing our best to take care of everybody. I think it was 1.3 million that we received from ISK, and then the nation contributed 1.3 million to the distribution. So that was out of our own source revenue. So looking at how can we support ongoing support to community members. And so, yeah, I've been out several times with IS Manman, who also do some meals on Fridays for the elders. And so I go and help to deliver. And, you know, it's just really nice to see them. I think they feel really good. You know, they haven't been forgotten, and we're thinking about them and we're providing. And then the bigger ones, I think we've done maybe 3, I think, deliveries to the broader community. And as you mentioned, there'll be another one next week. And so, yeah, it's just, I feel like Deborah Baker, myself, Deanna, you know, there's been a handful, and I know some of my other colleagues, they have extended family members that are have health issues as well in the household. So they are taking care of themselves to keep their families safe. And so, you know, it's a personal decision. I know I've had, like I say, my own family members that wanted to make sure. And I think of someone like Norma Nahaney, who gifted me a mask. She says, I see you out there in the community. I just want to make sure you're okay. And so it's those little gifts and thank yous that make me feel better, that, you know, it's like I say, it's the little way that I can go out and communicate and help, and, you know, just to be a part of the good things that are happening, you know, amongst the scary times. And it feels like we're getting past that scary time, but still bracing for the second wave. And I really lay low. You know, we don't have a lot of people coming in and out of our household, or, you know, I'm not going in very many households. I might do some grocery shopping, but yeah, I haven't been to a restaurant yet. No, I haven't. Yeah, I would like to do those things though, you know, but I'm still just doing my best to keep healthy and safe.
That's amazing. That's really great, because I actually just made reservations for me and my husband's 5-year anniversary, and I'm really excited to see how restaurants are taking the different approach during the reopening, during the phases through the COVID pandemic here. But before I move on, I just would like to say you touched on a lot of names there, and I really do think that the Squamish Nation, as a whole, we really need to put our hands up to each and every one of them, like including yourself, to be able to not only be going through the pandemic with all of us, but having to adjust and pivot to make sure that we all are looked after and safe. And the planning alone that goes into stuff like that on such a short timeline is just amazing. So I do respect all of the work that each and every one of the staff are doing at this time, and it's just amazing to be able to just feel so loved and supported during this unknown time. And as we do move from phase to phase, I do think BC as a whole has been just amazing with keeping the numbers low and taking the appropriate sanitizing measures, and people have been taking this really seriously. So I really hope that there isn't a second wave, but we do always make sure that we prepare for it. And that's what we're doing at the Cultural Centre, is making sure that we have plans on top of plans and plans to make sure that our staff and our guests feel safe coming through our doors. And we actually just created a virtual tour of the museum. So for anyone who wants to see the museum who doesn't have an opportunity to come and visit us due to, you know, maybe you're watching from across the borders or in different continents, then that option is there for you to go onto the website and actually see what our exhibits and stuff look like. And it's really cool to see how the world is responding and doing stuff like this, so that people still are engaged and connected, being able to fill their cup with so many good experiences, knowledge, and feeling connected in communities and to families. So I think the world has been doing really well, but BC is on it.
Thank you. Right, Osium. She's been amazing.
It's been amazing. And for the Rivers family to create the regalia pieces and have them delivered to Auntie Bonnie was just so amazing. Wool weaving is such a passion of mine, as you know, and to be able to see a family having her in mind, creating a piece, and then being able to wrap her with all that good love and energy is amazing. So I was really excited about that as well.
There's a hummingbird here. Pretty hummingbird, just as you're talking.
Aww, that's funny, because I seen a hummingbird earlier, and when I was talking to Heather weeks ago, she was talking about me, and a hummingbird came to see her, and
maybe that's you, the busy bee. I'm really, really proud of you, and how how hard you work, Allison, and just seeing the good work that you do with all of our youth ambassadors. And you've stuck it through, the many years and the changes that have occurred at SLCC, and continue to look at how you can better yourself and support the young people that are coming through these doors. So I just didn't want to miss the opportunity to, really acknowledge the work that you've done for yourself and where you're at today. And, from a young person to growing up to this beautiful, young woman that you are, and the work that you're doing. So I just wanted to acknowledge you. And I know our time is probably coming to an end, but to acknowledge National Indigenous Peoples Day, as you had already acknowledged, and Father's Day that's coming up. And so just to hold my hands up to each and every one of you that were able to witness this, and hopefully can do the virtual tour. You can shop at SLCC. I'm sure you'll probably talk about all of this, the food that can be ordered on Tuesdays. And that's what SLCC has done, looking how can we pivot during this time, to keep the doors open, keep some of our staff working a little bit. I mean, there's been a lot of layoffs, but, looking at those opportunities. So
we're so excited to be bringing so many people back, and it's just so well. So those words really, I don't want to cry, so I won't. But thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I really do appreciate you taking the time and sitting here with me today and being able to have this conversation. This pandemic is not a laughing matter, and we're very, very excited to have so much support, and for you to be able to come and have this conversation with us and all of our viewers. It's amazing. I just wanted to ask if anybody that is out there has any questions. You can put them in the question on the Zoom box here, and then we can have a look. For those of you who don't know, next week we are going to be talking with Levi Nelson from the Lil'wat Nation, and he is a really great up-and-coming artist. Well, I wouldn't say up-and-coming, really. He is an artist, and he is fabulous at it. He's had different exhibitions in the Lower Mainland and up and down the Sea to Sky area, and is currently taking a course at the Emily Carr. And so he's going to be talking about his way of connecting the Lil'wat style of art into the stuff that he creates today. And I really hope that people are able to log in and join in for that. And for anyone who was interested to learn more about art and reconciliation, Corey Douglas will be doing his workshop on the 21st at 2 p.m. Make sure we sign up for that, and so many good stuff. So make sure to check out our www.slcc.ca website and stay informed. You can like us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or all those great resources. Doesn't look like we currently have any questions there, Carla. Kwitelut, sorry for that. And we will definitely be able to stay in touch. And I really appreciate all your hard efforts and continued efforts. And if I see you next week during the delivery, I won't talk your ear off and let you do all those deliveries. I didn't know it was like 700 different homes in our area here. That is a lot. Awesome.
Thank you very much, Allison.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again, either in our doors or through our online content. So thanks again.
Bye, Masaf.